And Atlanta trails Washington, who's on a 4-game losing streak right now, by 4.5 games in the NL East.
The Braves aren't going to catch Washington, though.
4.5 games, man. If Washington doesn't get back on playing good.
Washington will, though. It's one of those years, a weird year. Washington's going to end up holding on to this division. They've been too good all year long. I think their biggest problem is going to be this whole shutting down of Strasburg.
Which is just... I was going to talk... I was considering talking about that today, and I'm like, you know what? Next week, when he reaches 157 innings, they're going to make a big deal about it all over again.
Well, I heard that they were thinking about skipping him a start or two, so that this way he could save those few innings for the end of the year, possibly the playoffs as well. But, I mean, I heard something that kind of resonated with me. This would be like shutting down Tom Seaver in '69. This would be like shutting down Doc Gooden when he came up with the Mets. Just something that I don't think they should do. Now, I understand that, statistics say that this is the right move to do and saving his arm. And the kid needs to play baseball. Guys years ago used to throw 400 innings a year.
Yeah, they didn't have 5-man rotations.
No, and they
had like 3, if that.
If that. No closers. These guys went 9 innings where they gave up 10 runs or 1 run.
Yeah, baseball. And that's what it is. All the science and the research that they've put in. You now know that you're better off doing, a inning count instead of pushing guys and so on and so forth.
But then again, you look a couple years back, the Yankees had these Jabba rules with Jabba Chamberlain and, restricted him and doing all this other nonsense. Now look at the guy. The guy can't freaking pitch to save his life. Everything he throws is a straight fastball. I mean, there's no movement to it. There's no nothing. He might as well just be up there serving them up.
Yeah, Jabba definitely does not look like the same guy that he started out to be.
So, having all these rules doesn't necessarily help a guy like Strasburg. I think, and plus, you're ruining the team chemistry. He's pitching so good. He's playing so well. And now all of a sudden you're taking him out. The rest of the team goes, well, wait a second. Don't we want to win? Don't we want to put the best product we can on the field?
Well, I think that's the biggest question mark is the fact that the rest of the team's sitting there saying, we have an opportunity to do something special this year. And our best pitcher, arguably, you want to shut down for the rest of the year. Every guy on that team's played over 100-something games this year. They're not no manager, no general manager, nobody, no owner, nobody in that organization's looking at anybody in the field saying, "Yeah, we probably should shut him down for the rest of the year." Like nobody's looking at Bryce Harper and said he had too many at bats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and now obviously I get the fact that that's a different scenario compared to throwing. I mean, it's scientifically proven that this motion is not a natural motion for your shoulder to do over and over again. You can do it. But that's why Tommy John surgery and all that stuff happens to so many people. I don't know about you, but anytime I've been out and throw a baseball or a football or something for a long period of time, my shoulder starts to get sore. Your arm is not meant to consistently and constantly do that motion. It obviously you can. I mean, it's
plenty of guys have done it for a long, long time.
But technically speaking, it's not meant to constantly do that motion. But this kid has spent his entire life working to this point. He is this close to possibly winning a World Series, which, I'm sorry, let's be honest, how many guys get that opportunity in their life? Out of all the men that have played baseball, 10% maybe win a World Series? I mean, like, really think about it.
How many? Yankee.
Yeah, unless you spend your whole career with the Yankees. But, I mean, really think about it. Like, the amount of guys that play in the world of baseball that never even step on the World Series stage. It's just like any other sport. I mean, you can play 20 years and never even make the playoffs. It's possible.
Yeah.
And it's actually just as possible as it is to win a World Series when it really comes down to it. So why take that away from him? Now, obviously, I know he'll get a ring if they win it, but as well as I know, that's not going to mean the same to him.
No.
It won't have. He's not going to want to wear that ring with pride. He's going to be like, well, yeah, I helped in the regular season, but I did nothing to win this. Like, it's just, It's the natural
I
mindset
don't
of a
think
competitor.
they have a chance to win without him in the playoffs.
Without him in the rotation.
I don't think they have a chance. I think that it would kill the morale of the team.
Okay. And I understand completely where you're coming from because I think he is established himself as the backbone of that team.
Plus, I mean, you're looking at it, it's almost September. We're a few days away from September. If you shut him down this late in the season, with this much at stake and the playoff race and the playoffs coming up, and you know that Washington's going to be in the playoffs, even if by some chance Atlanta catches them, they're still going to be in the playoffs. They're going to make a wild card.
This is you are right about that. Even if they don't win the division, somehow they lose the 4+ game lead on Atlanta, and they're still ahead of everybody in the wild card.
Yeah, they're still going to get the wild card. So no matter what, Washington's going to be in the playoffs. It's just a matter of whether the team believes they're going to win once they get there. And I think with Strasburg, they could believe they're going to win. Without him, I think there's a shadow of a doubt in their mind. And once you get that, might as well pack your bags and just head home.
Pretty much. And Pixel Junkie is, coming from the other side of the argument saying, what if he blows his arm? Then what? He's out for a year. I wouldn't risk it.
He already had Tommy John surgery last year. He missed all of last year already. This happened. He had his major arm surgery already. His arm is stronger now than it's been.
See that, and that's the thing. Now, is that
I think
something
he's going to blow the arm out a
second
time? Yeah. No, I don't think he's going to have a second Tommy John surgery. I don't see him blowing his shoulder out. He hasn't complained of any shoulder soreness or stiffness at all this year. So what makes me believe that he's going to blow his arm out in the next month and a half while he pitches into the playoffs?
A Pixel Junkie says that, they should trust their staff and pitchers that you already have. Fife mentions the fact that he's...
by the way, who's Pixel Junkie?
Pixel Junkie is a long-time sports
but I mean, I want to hear him say who he roots for.
I believe Pixel Junkie's a Yankee fan.
He's a Yankee fan?
Yeah, I believe he's a Yankee fan. Fife mentions that, he sells more jerseys than anyone else on the team. His value is higher in dollar signs than his teammates. His career ends early. The jersey sales end early. Long-term business decision.
Listen, I think Bryce Harper is as big a star with the Nationals as Strasburg is.
And he at least will be if he's not yet.
As many jerseys, even though he's not putting up the same numbers as, say, Mike Trout is out there with L.A., Bryce Harper is definitely putting up numbers and selling just as many jerseys as Strasburg.
I do agree with something that Pixel did just write in the chat room where, the one thing that, Strasburg most likely will do, just like most other competitors, is that even though he may, if he is pitching and he does hurt his arm, a guy like him won't own up to it. He'll keep pitching. He'll try to pitch through the pain, which could make things even worse. I can see both sides of the argument. I really do. I can...
You can
really
see
where both sides are coming from.
How often are the Washington Nationals in the mix ever?
Yeah.
Well, do you plan on them being a great team for the next 10 years? Because I don't.
I think they hope they can be.
This is a one-and-done type thing.
Do you? Okay. Wait, even with the young talent that they have, you think this is a one-and-done team?
Even with the talent that they have, because I think next year Philly will be better than what they've shown this year. They'll have a lot of guys back, pretty healthy next year. Won't have as much to worry about. It'll give Ryan Howard more time with the Achilles to get over it. Although he's still hitting for power, he's not really hitting for the average, and he really can't run much. Utley, all these guys, Holiday will have a bounce back year. I mean, Holiday's not an 8-7 pitcher.
No. And
Cliff Lee couldn't win a game for the first 13 games.
That's what I was going to say. And Cliff Lee, there's no way in hell he has the type of year he's had this year.
That's what I'm saying. Do I think next year Philly's as bad as they are this year? Not a chance.
See, but I think when you Pixel puts that they're built to last, and I actually agree. I think that they're a team that is more set up to be competitive for the next 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Than they are to be a one-and-done team.
If your Pixel says that, well, I would dare you guys to name me 5 players on the team other than Strasburg and Bryce Harper.
I can name Ryan Zimmerman.
Very good.
Dude, that's the one thing.
Nobody can name anybody from this team. They're not built to last. This is a one-and-done thing, and they got to treat it like that. They do. You gotta put the best product you can on the field while you can. You don't save it. If you have a chance to win a championship now, you take the chance to win a championship now. Now, if they were, say, where the Mets are, or even where the Braves are, 4.5 back and fighting for a wild card, then I would say, you know what, maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe you want to shut down Strasburg. It's not such a big thing going on. But with where they're at and what's at stake, they have a legitimate chance, at least a 50-50 chance of coming out of the NL now.
But, like, I mean, you got Jordan Zimmerman, 26 years old. Strasburg, 24 years old. Gio Gonzalez, 26 years old. So there's your first 3 pitchers in your rotation.
How many of them are going to stay healthy every year? Right now, those guys are healthy. Zimmerman's missed time. Strasburg's already missed time. If this is the year that everybody's healthy and you guys are putting the best... They're, what, the number 1 team in the league right now, I believe, record-wise?
Yes. They own the best record in the majors.
They own the best record in the league. They're not going to have a better chance. Do I think next year they lead the league? No.
See,
I think 5 years from now they lead the league? No. Especially with what the Dodgers are doing out there in L.A. There's no chance. You got to take the opportunity while you got it. If you got a chance at the World Series, you go for the World Series now because it's the best way to bring more money into your franchise. If you make a deep run into the playoffs, they're going to sell out that stadium. It's going to get more fans involved. If they get shut down Strasburg and get bounced in the first round, they go back to mediocrity next year. Bar none. They go back to mediocrity.
See, and my thing is this. I do agree 100% with the fact that if you have a World Series opportunity, you are claiming right now the best record in baseball. You have one of the best teams right now in baseball. I do completely agree with the idea of going after it now. I completely agree with that. What I don't agree with what you said is the fact that you can't guarantee that they're going to be healthy next year or the year after that or so on and so forth. And that's
next year, do you agree the Phillies as bad as they are this year?
It depends on how they handle their offseason. If the Phillies, Pixel believes that he could see the Phillies getting rid of Jimmy Rollins. He could see them getting rid of Ryan Howard. He could see them getting rid of... They're
not going to get rid of those guys because they know they have a legitimate chance. If all those guys are healthy, they have a chance, more than a 50-50 chance, probably about a 75-25 chance of winning that division. The Mets, they can't do anything right. The Marlins, every time they get somebody of value, they end up giving them away because they don't want to pay them. Even though they got a brand new ballpark down there that they're trying to get fans into, they still just give away guys like Hanley Ramirez, which blows my mind. And then, the Braves are tough and the Braves are young too. So do I think necessarily that Philly's going to be that bad? No. Do I think Washington's going to be this good? No. Do I think Washington has a chance of missing the playoffs next year? Absolutely.
Well, I think that's how it is every year for any team. Outside of, what, the Yankees?
No. This year, come on. You can look at it. You knew Detroit was going to be in the mix or the White Sox. I mean, Detroit's still in the playoff race. White Sox are leading the division. Everybody knew Texas was going to make it, whether it be wild card or whether it be winning that division. A lot of people thought Anaheim would be a little better than they are. But, I mean, like I said, this is one of those weird years, one of those special years, because you're seeing a lot of, like, the teams that you thought were going to be great have injury problems and not be as good, like L.A., I mean, with Pujols' slow start and the problems they had in the beginning. I mean, they have the most phenomenal player in the league in Mike Trout. Another phenomenal young guy in Mark Trumbo. There's a few teams in the NL that even less teams in the NL that you thought were going to make the playoffs this year. But, I mean, I look at teams like Baltimore. Do I think Baltimore is going to be this good for that long? Now, granted, Buck Showalter's a pretty damn good manager.
Since he's gotten there, they've been a different team. Around. That's for sure. Since he's gotten there, it's been... They're
a better team, but do I think they're going to be a playoff team next year? Probably not.
See, Pixel's actually agreeing with you. He's saying that it's not that it's a special year. It's just a wild card year. That's an actually pretty good statement. I like that.
That's why Washington has to go for it now.
Okay.
That's why they cannot shut Strasburg down. If they were, like I said, if they were where the Braves are, I can understand the discussion of shutting him down. Leading
especially
the league,
if they were like where the Mets are.
You cannot shut your best pitcher down because it will not only crush your pitching staff, but it will crush the hopes and dreams of all fans and anybody else involved. You're saying, well, we're looking more towards the future than we are right now. Well, fans want to win right now. I'm a fan. I want a World Series this year.
Yeah,
I'm a Yankee
I don't
fan.
want to wait 10 more years.
I don't want to be told that. Oh well, we're gonna hold him out. We're gonna hold out CC this year, but man, he'll be ready for next year. We'll make a run at it. No, we're gonna make a run at it this year. He's gonna pitch if he's healthy.
That I can't argue with at all. I completely agree with it. If you got an opportunity to go get it, you go get it. You do not sit there and say we'll get it next year.
Yeah.
You go get it now.
Now.